Compare and order rational numbers. So a rational number can be made by dividing two integers. Think of rational numbers as positive and negative fractions and decimals. So getting into the comparing part of it, take a look. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the sign of the two numbers. In my first example, I have a positive 3 1/10 and a negative 3 7/10. Well, a positive is always going to be greater than the negative, so that makes my answer pretty easy. Taking a look at the next example, thinking of a number line. All right, and so let's just say that this is my negative 4 and this is negative 5. If I plot a negative 4.5, that's going to be right in the middle, negative 4.5. Now, is negative 4.49 closer to negative 4, or is it farther from negative 4? Well, it's actually closer. It would, literally be right here. So this is actually going to be the larger number. Then I'm going to have some fractions, and I personally am going to want to make sure that I change these into a decimal. So if I did 9 divided by 16, I would end up with 0.5625, and if I divide by 4, I would end up with 3/4, which is 0.75. So that's my larger number. And then if I think about this, this is negative 0.7 because it's 7/10, and 4/5 I know would be 0.80 or negative 80 or 80%. And so I have to think now which number is closest to 0. That would be negative 7/10. All right, so going on to the next part where we actually have to order numbers from least to greatest or greatest to least. I can take a look, and I'm going to, again, make sure I read my question carefully, so I'm working for least to greatest. So I'm trying to find the most negative number. I'm going to talk about my fractions and make sure I have them as decimals because that's going to be the easiest for me to recognize. So 22/25 here, this is really negative 2.88. And negative 2 1/10, well, that's negative 2.1. So now I can work on ordering, and the important part I need to make sure I stress to you is you're going to use the original number when you order. So for least, the most negative, that's negative 2 22/25. Then I'm going to have negative 2.46, and lastly, negative 2 1/10. So again, just like my other, by this example we just got done, we're looking at greatest to least, so I'm going to have to find the closest negative number to 0, changing all of these into decimals. I know that this is negative 7.17, and then 13 times 5 is 65, so negative 7.65. So the closest number to 0 is my negative 7 17/100. Then I have negative 7 13/20. And lastly, my most negative number is negative 7.78. And that would be my final answer. So make sure you're being careful and looking at the signs and changing fractions to decimals to make sure you're ordering correctly.